As much time in House District 80 is it's better to schedule events for 7 rather than 6. We learned this because of traffic. I practice kind of around the state. I'm a public defender, so I get to see a lot of stuff around the state, but I appreciate everybody's patience. Anyway, I'm Catherine Bernard. I'm running for House District 80 State Representative. I actually ran in the previous special election, which was a pretty exciting situation for those of you who aren't familiar with it. I got edged out in the special election by 56 votes. Of the 2 folks in the runoff, we unfortunately had a pretty bad situation where the Democrat won by a blowout. And that's really a factor of House District 80 being a very unique district. You know, not only do we have amazing restaurants and gastropubs like there, just one of many that we have in the district, but it's also a district with a lot of independent-minded thinkers. We're fiscally conservative, we want to hold on to our own money, we don't want big government messing with people's lives, but socially tolerant, humanitarian. These are the best things that we can focus on to get a Republican victory here in House District 80. As I mentioned to you, I'm a public defender. That's actually what got me into politics, because I practice law all around the state and I see it being applied in courtrooms. That's what got me interested in running for the state legislature, because law is something that we have got to take seriously. It impacts everyone's lives around the state, and unfortunately what we see up in the legislature, you know, they're in crossover day right now, so who knows what they've passed without even reading it yet, is we've got a lot of folks who are passing, you know, these 2,500 bills going through there without really understanding or paying attention to the consequences as they go through the rest of Georgia law. So I think my experience in the courtrooms all across Georgia, meeting judges, prosecutors, folks from around the state, as well as my work here in the community. The big issue we had on the ballot in 2014 was the redevelopment powers law. For those of you who aren't from Brookhaven, that was the city of Brookhaven referendum where they tried to get us to basically exempt the city from the part of the Georgia Constitution that says you can't take on debt without getting a majority vote of everyone, i.e. the city council just can't take on debt and then you vote them out and you're stuck with the debt. They snuck that onto our ballot at the end of, the very end of the ballot in 2014, and I led the Brookhaven Redevelopment Referendum Committee, the group that was able to get that defeated 60 to 40%. Fantastic victory, and even though it was a nonpartisan committee, it was a great opportunity to get our Republican values in front of a larger audience, in front of that independent-minded audience that makes up the most important voting base in House District 80. We show them fiscal conservatism in their own backyards, among their neighbors, and that's where Republicans are going to win, not just in House District 80, but throughout Georgia and throughout the country. And I think we all see with what's going on in 2016, it is more critical than ever that we be good messengers of Republican ideas, that we show people how Republican ideas can make their lives better, and that we do the work out in the community to make sure that people know Republicans live up to that message. So I've done that leading the redevelopment powers referendum. I've done that leading the Brookhaven Citizens Police Academy. I've done that working in the DeKalb GOP. I've done that, you know, as a national delegate in 2012 to the Republican National Convention. And in fact, I will not sit here and bore you guys with the whole resume. I will be here as long as you want to ask any questions. So I would appreciate your support. Those of you in House District 80 would love to get your vote, and I'm happy to stay for any questions. Thank you so much for being here and for patronizing this wonderful restaurant. I mean, I'm happy to take questions here, or we could just all go back to eating.